No intro and no outro needed for this one. Hello, Al Johnson here from the Al Johnson Show. And ladies and gentlemen, just because they can doesn't mean we should. What do I mean by that? Well, in case you guys haven't seen the news or you live under a rock, uh, over the last week, it's been found out and been revealed that a number of black artists in music and or entertainment, well, basically in entertainment or pop culture, if you have been outed as been supporting our current president, the talking cabinet. I'm not going to say his name. He doesn't deserve it. And who are these black entertainers I'm referring to? Well, the names are Chili from TLC, Salt from Salt and Pepper, Nick Cannon, Amber Rose, which he's kind of been doing for a while, and apparently Ice Cube. Yes, Ice Cube from NWA, the one that made songs talking about systematic racism in the ghettos, who was part of songs like After Police and Express Yourself and Gangsta Gangsta, It Was a Good Day, a Good Cop, Bad Cop, you name it. Yeah, he supports MAGA, along with the people I named. And I want to say this for the record. This is not me punishing them for who they support. Who they support is their business, just like who I support is my business. And yes, they are within their constitutional right to support who they support. I got nothing against that. What bothers me is, at least in the case of Chili and Nick Cannon, it's just some of the ways they are vocalizing their support for the carrot, or at least like being outed as such. In the case of Chili, some old audio came out, I believe, back in not 2016, like 2 years ago during the last election, where T-Boz from TLC did an interview, and someone radio host brought up how like, what this country's in for a rude awakening if we get Kamala Harris as president, and I'm putting my vote behind the carrot. And T-Boz said on the air, "Hey, my group member voted for him too." And the audio has since resurfaced. And then a lot of people did their digging around on the internet, what they call it, the internet detective skills, and found out that Chili donated to causes that are in support of Republicans and MAGA and whatnot. And she tried to come out and lie to try to say, "Oh, that's not me. That's never been me. I don't go for that. I was just putting my support in what I thought was a good cause and blah 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 blah. What have you." And in the case of Nick Cannon, who famously married and had twins with Mariah Carey, has about, I believe, 15 living kids, and 15 of them kids are with eight different women, all not married. His 18th child is not with us. I can't remember his name. It starts with a Z. I know that, but he's not with us. He died of heart complications a number of years ago. But yeah, Nick Cannon, he does an interview with Amber Rose, and he says something to the effect of how the Democrat Party, that was the house that supported the KKK or what have you. Now, if you know your history, yes, the Democratic Party, they did lean into causes that did favor the KKK, but over time, it switched to the Republican Party in terms of their views and how they lean and support into things that are against people of color. Point taken. You guys have, maybe you guys may or may not know this, but one of the um, mission objectives of the infamous Project 2025 was for our president to denounce and also take away programs in like working offices or what have you that has to deal with hiring people based on the color of their skin because, oh, as you guys know, oh, that would be deemed as woke. But the thing is, when people use that term, it's to express how, oh, we don't like that Professor Snape is played by a black man or that Ariel is played by a black woman. You know, those stupid things. Or female empowerment, you know, that garbage. And I want to, again, say this for like this is not me bashing them for supporting MAGA. It's their right to do as whatever they choose to. I'm just coming on here to say that I'm disappointed and heartbroken and not gonna lie, a little sad because it's like in the case of Chili, Salt, and Nick Cannon, these and Ice Cube, these are people I grew up listening to and grew up watching on TV. I was a fan of theirs. And to know that they're hitching their wagon behind the carrot who is doing everything possible to go against people that don't look like him. But want to lie and say, oh no, the person, he is for people of color and this and that. But yeah, he has constantly shown that he doesn't. But whatever. And remember what I said at the beginning of this. Just because they can doesn't mean we should. In the case of Chili and Salt, and if I said T-Boz a second ago, I meant Chili, pardon me. In the case of Chili and Salt, they're about to be going on a global tour, a nationwide tour, celebrating the hits from the 90s or celebrating their legacy in music. And I'm sure you've seen people are going around saying we're gonna boycott this tour because we can't rock with Salt and Chili supporting this current administration and what they're doing. Again, not my place to say, well, you can't do this and that. All I can say is do whatever you see fit to show how hurt you are about this. Me, like I said, I'm just hurt and disappointed by these people. And again, Nick Cannon, you going around saying that, hitching your wagon to him, yet wasn't you for like a number of years rocking a turban, showing, you know, black power and all this and that, yet here you are having a bunch of kids with a bunch of different women, excluding Mariah, because somehow that was normal. You got that normalcy down. But when it comes to these other kids, no. And I'm not blaming the kids. I blame you for that because it's like, dude, you couldn't just keep it in your pants. And now, again, you're hitching your wagon to administration that's going against us, and you're okay with that. And I'm not really surprised at this because sadly, throughout history, blacks have been known to backstab their people in the back if it means reaching further and further up on I guess the hierarchy, if you will. So, like I said, I'm not angry about this. I'm just disappointed, and it's just heartbreaking to have seen that going on. It's just, like I said, I apologize for repeating it, but it's just heartbreaking to see that. But am I surprised? No. Doesn't mean I'm less disappointed. Yeah. So yeah. Again, if you still want to rock with these people, that's your choice. I'll just be disappointed. If you want to speak out and protest or however way you see fit about how you feel about this, go right ahead. That's your decision. But for me, I'm remembering Cornbread from Sinners, even though he got bitten by a vampire. But that line is that quote is aging like fine wine. Well, well, ain't it be your own peoples? See, I thought y'all were better than that, but you just like the white man. So yeah, surprising. It's a little surprising, but is it still heartbreaking? Is it still disappointing? Yeah, but sadly, people are gonna do what people are gonna do. I was dumb enough to not to hold on to positivity. But in the case of this administration, it's hard to do so. So guess that's my fault then.